Hidden within the borders of Nigeria lies a story of power, politics, and conquest, a tale not often told. Today, we peel back the layers to uncover the hidden truth behind the creation of one of Africa's most populous nations. What were the forces that shaped Nigeria, and how did colonialism, division, and resistance intertwine to create the country we know today? Pre-colonial Nigeria footage of traditional Nigerian kingdoms, Benin, Oyo, Hausa city-states, Igbo villages. Before the British arrived, the area now known as Nigeria was home to a rich tapestry of civilizations. The Benin Empire, the Oyo Kingdom, and the Hausa city-states each thrived with their own distinct cultures, economies, and political systems. The Igbo people, with their decentralized and democratic structure, lived in villages scattered across the region. British colonization images of British officers, ships, and the scramble for Africa. In the late 19th century, however, the British Empire sought to expand its control over West Africa. They began consolidating territories, overriding indigenous systems and kingdoms. The British idea was simple: divide and conquer. What we now know as Nigeria was a product of this strategy. The British merged disparate ethnic groups, cultures, and societies into one territory under the umbrella of British rule. The amalgamation of 1914 archival footage of the British government, maps showing the division of Nigeria into the northern and southern protectorates. In 1914, the British took the unprecedented step of merging the northern and southern protectorates into a single colony. This amalgamation was, in truth, an economic decision, aimed at increasing the efficiency of resource extraction and management. But it was also an act of political maneuvering. The North, predominantly Muslim and led by an aristocratic system, was vastly different from the largely Christian and ethnically diverse South. Yet they were forced together under one banner, Nigeria. The impact of the amalgamation footage of colonial infrastructure, train systems, and resource extraction. The creation of Nigeria wasn't just about governance, it was about resources. The British controlled the oil-rich Niger Delta, the fertile lands of the south, and the vast, untapped resources in the north. But the amalgamation came with consequences. The British ignored the diverse and often conflicting cultures in favor of control. By placing a minority ethnic group in power, the Hausa Fulani of the north, they sowed the seeds of division that would later plague the country. Resistance and nationalism footage of Nigerian leaders, protests, and growing nationalist movements. Despite British efforts, resistance to colonial rule grew. Nationalist movements led by figures like Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, and Ahmadu Bello began to challenge British authority. These leaders recognized the artificial nature of the borders and fought for Nigeria's independence, not just politically, but culturally and socially. However, the British played a careful game, using divide and rule tactics to prevent a unified front. Ethnic groups were pitted against each other, creating a deep sense of mistrust that would affect Nigeria for generations. Independence and the post-colonial struggle footage of the independence ceremony in 1960, celebrations, and protests. In 1960, Nigeria gained independence from Britain, but the divisions planted during colonization were far from healed. The British had left behind a country without a cohesive national identity. Ethnic groups, once forced together, struggled for power. The lack of unity led to political instability, culminating in a series of military coups and a brutal civil war from 1967 to 1970. The Civil War and its legacy footage of the Nigerian Civil War, Biafran War, images of famine and destruction. The Nigerian Civil War, also known as the Biafran War, was a direct consequence of the amalgamation. The Igbo people of the southeastern region, feeling marginalized, declared independence as the Republic of Biafra in 1967. The ensuing conflict resulted in immense human suffering. Over 1 million people died, many of them from starvation. The war left scars that are still felt today in Nigeria's ethnic relations and its political landscape. Modern-day Nigeria, a complex legacy footage of modern Nigeria, cities, culture, protests, oil extraction, and political turmoil. Today, Nigeria is Africa's most populous country and one of its largest economies. But the legacy of its creation continues to shape its politics. The tensions between ethnic groups, especially between the North and South, remain a potent force. The discovery of oil in the Niger Delta has exacerbated these divisions, with the region feeling exploited and neglected by the federal government. The hidden truth footage of Nigerian citizens in various settings, markets, schools, protests. The hidden truth about Nigeria's creation lies in its foundation, an artificial union forged under colonial rule that ignored the deep cultural and political differences between its people. While Nigeria's independence was a victory, the reality is that its formation was driven by external forces, not by the will of its people. The borders were drawn to suit the interests of colonizers, and the legacy of those decisions continues to influence Nigeria's politics and society. Conclusion: a future beyond the past footage of Nigerian youth, advancements in technology, and a hopeful future. Yet, despite these challenges, Nigeria's future remains full of potential. The resilience of its people, the energy of its youth, and the rich diversity of its cultures offer hope. But for Nigeria to truly move forward, it must confront its past, embrace its diversity, heal its wounds, and build a nation that truly reflects the will and aspirations of its people. Fade out music, displaying the words, "The Hidden Truth." Nigeria's creation. Only by understanding the hidden truths of the past can Nigeria pave the way for a better, united future. What role will you play in shaping that future?